Hello and welcome, line workers and seekers, to this first episode of the Dreams Portal podcast. I am very excited today because our guest is a dear friend and a person I've been working with on the subject of dream meaning and interpretation, and we've been learning from each other. With us today is Dianne of Sacred Light Integrations, a modern day shaman. Dianne helps people in their journey of self discovery and self healing through shamanism and energy work. You can find Dianne at her website, sacredlightintegrations.com, her YouTube channel of the same name, and follow her on Facebook and Instagram. Welcome, Dianne, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you. We haven't chatted in a while, so I'm so excited that we have the opportunity today to talk about dreams, see where it takes us.
Dreams. So, we are fascinated by dreams. As humans, we try to give them meaning. Sometimes dreams are a source of comfort because we dream about the things that make us happy or the things we want. Sometimes things that are not so good. But no matter what, we're trying to find meaning on this and guidance. I believe we agree that dreams in that state when the veil is thinning and we lower or completely drop our resistance, they provide guidance if we're open.
And definitely dreams provide guidance. Sometimes they are, messages about our daily lives. Other times they're messages from our spirit guides. Um, Definitely communications from the non-physical and our subconscious mind. So much of the subconscious mind can come up in our dreams. And I think that's a great message for us all to be aware of. How about you?
I have learned through different experiences and actually in recent years to find guidance in dreams. I don't know when I started taking them seriously. I think there was one or two that we can call prophetic dreams or premonition dreams, and in a span of a couple of years became true. One not so good, and the other the most recent put me in an area in a mountain or desert, and I was in uniform, and that was years before I deployed for a tour of duty in Afghanistan. I had that dream like 5 years before, something like that. So back in the day, I didn't think, I didn't know why I was dreaming of to be in a landscape that had tall mountains, but at the same time was so dry. Back in the day, I was still living back home, and that's not how mountains look like over there. So when you're in a tropical island, nothing looks dry unless you are in certain areas that are that kind of tundra ecosystem. And we do have those, but that specific dream and looking around, everything looked so ravaged, so rocky and dry. And a few years later, 06, 07, I was living in a place like that. So uh, that was one. The other one that I could never find an interpretation to that, because again, I didn't know. And that's probably what many people suffer from, is they're trying to find a literal or a physical meaning to the dream. And this was a reoccurring dream, and we will have that kind of episode in this podcast. It was the first instance of that dream was that I couldn't get to my wedding on time because I couldn't pick the right shoes. And I couldn't pick the right shoes. No, don't laugh at it because it gets better. Not because I didn't I didn't have the time. No, there was a wall completely from top from ceiling to floor with shelves of shoes, pearl, white, leathery, synthetic material, closed toe, open toe, straps, silver, you name it, any kind of variation of a shoe that you could match to a wedding dress, it was on that shelf, and I couldn't pick a pair. Therefore, I didn't make it on time to my wedding. So that was the first dream that got me into that, because I was in my late 20s. I didn't have any plans of weddings, or wasn't seeing anybody. So why that kind of dream? Then with the years, the dream kept repeating in the form of something very mundane, which is something that I learned through in the years to break it apart, like you and I do with our dreams, start taking the elements. There was a common theme, not only not make it on time to that milestone event in the lives of many people, it was the delay was always something mundane. Picking shoes. Well, picking shoes for some people might not be that mundane. Uh, then because, oh, I decided that I had time to do a quick errand. Like, seriously, who in the world stop for a quick errand when you are on your way to a life milestone like that? So it wasn't until a year after that I met our mutual friend and teacher Abby, that she looked at it and she said, well, those were not the shoes you wanted to walk in. So, and that brings me to the subject of symbols. And when you have a dream, don't take it literal. Don't wake up that morning, say, oh God, I screwed this up. I'm not getting married. I'm not going to make it, and start going about your day, going crazy. Like, I need to avoid things. So I need to go on a checklist to make sure that I get everything for my wedding, because it wasn't about wedding and it wasn't about shoes. So that's the first thing I want to introduce to our audience. So what say you?
Absolutely. And that's like you said, so many people, because we live in, the 3D world, and so many of us are in that realm, that we try to put it as a very 3D, how is it going to happen in our real world? But it's more the symbols, the underlying meanings, and what it means to us. And I agree with you on like the repeating messages and stuff. But what I found helped me tremendously, first off, is I kept a dream journal. And I encourage anybody starting today, or anything you can remember from the past on dreams you've had, to keep a little dream journal by your bed. Just so when you first wake up, to sit down and put that pen in your hand and just write stuff. Because what I found, and once I've mentioned this to other people, once you pick up that pen, as you start to write, sometimes some of the little details that you may have forgotten start to come back. You're like, oh, I forgot that happened. I forgot that happened. So having that journal to go back through and reference is a great way to, remember what your dreams mean. And then as they pop in your mind over the years, to say, when did that happen, or what happened after that? So is that anything that you do?
Oh, absolutely. And recently in Everyday Crystal Magic, my YouTube channel, I had a video about crystals for dream recall. And one of the things that I encourage everybody is you have to keep a dream journal. And if writing is something that you don't have time to do in the morning, because we all have commitments and places to be, but in modern times, we had the blessing of apps. You can
Absolutely.
take a recording app and talk like I talk to you, like we're talking right now. Like, you will call your best friend on the way to work and say, hey, I had this crazy dream last night. Talking to that recording app, and don't try to make sense of anything. Just talk, and don't start analyzing. That was the other thing. Analyzing and trying to interpret or make sense of the dream at the same time you're talking, because then you're going to change the story, and you're not going to allow yourself the opportunity to recreate the picture without judgment. Just that, just go with the first memories that comes to you, and let it come out, because there's a reason why we have that clarity in our sleeping hours, or in the time that we are in a different plane of existence. So talk into the app, do the dream journal, and revisit that, because that, I think this is an ongoing story. Because if you journal something, a dream now, or a series of dreams, eventually, and you start comparing and revisiting like you do, everything is going to look bigger and better in terms of the message that is supposed to bring to us. So what do you tell the people you help in your practice? Do you encounter many people that come to you with dreams, and how you guide them through this process?
I don't have that many that do come to me and they don't mention that dream in, as a forefront. But I've had a couple instances where we've gone on journeys, or as we're working with their emotions, on images that I see as I'm working with them, that they later, or after the call or whatever, toward the end of the call, they're like, oh my gosh, I've had dreams about that certain situation, or if I was put in that scenario, etc. So that's been a lot of fun. And like if we're doing a guided journey, then I'll explain what is being seen and what is like any work being done on them. They tell me that they had a dream that kind of was very similar to that they would, at the point the odd things that we see came up during that session, it made no sense to me at all, but I'm describing it to them and they're of course going, oh my gosh, that was exactly what had happened in this dream. So over the last 6 years, maybe, it's happened a couple times. And of course, when you have those situations come up, you're getting goosebumps, because when the client is telling you, I experienced that before, I know exactly what you're talking about, from their dream state, or something in their real life. It's very confirming, and hopefully that person got some resolution from the information that I provided to go further into that meaning.
So that's interesting. So in your sessions, your clients experience some sort of dream recall that they were not aware before.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it happens?
Yeah, I mean, I'm describing something like with the visuals very clearly that they had seen in a dream and couldn't figure out what the meaning was behind it. So yeah.
What are the common meanings that people struggle with that you have seen so far, in terms of, let that be, if it's a symbol or an event? What is the thing that comes up most of the times?
I can't say. I mean, like I said, I haven't not had it happen that often, so I don't want to say there's any patterns in it. But I will say the people that I've talked to about dreams at different events, and as we talk about them in conversations we have with people in this circle and beyond, it's just people are always going to websites. And although that can be beneficial to kind of get you started, like to kind of maybe open your mind up to things that it may mean, but truly, as we say, it's like what it means to you personally, and what is your reaction when you wake up. And I love the point, like you said, don't analyze it as all these little tidbits of the dream are coming up. Don't try to analyze it at that same time. Go back later and analyze it at that point. So that's a great flag for everyone to remember to do.
Absolutely. And another thing that I learned to do with time was, I don't know about you, but I'm sure many people out there have very detailed dreams, too many elements. And if you can remember all the elements, I'm sure that you have suffered through my emails when it goes on the second page and I'm still halfway through the movie. Like, oh, wait, but while I was seeing this, I noticed. So for everybody listening, is maybe in our awakened state, daytime, yeah, we're on a commute and we're not going to pay attention to the houses or the lights or a tree. But if that scene is played with that kind of details in a dream, is for a reason. starting with the seasons of the year. Like a few weeks ago, remember that dream that I was like, okay, I haven't heard from Diane. I think she had enough because there was so many elements in that dream. It started with a, a backyard with flowers blooming in winter and specific flowers, specific colors. The neighbors were in a certain way. The house, the kitchen was like a working process in terms of the design. One part was retro, the other part has been upgraded to what you find in a nice home these days. But at the same time, looking at the kitchen from the floor to the upper cabinets, there was a similar thing going on. So I know it might be overwhelming waking up, but again, if we are capable of grabbing our phones in the morning to go into Facebook and see an emails, you know what? Start your day in a better way. Open the recording app and just tell the story like you saw it in your dreams. And then we start taking it apart because every element brings a piece of information. The people in that dream included, I saw dead relatives. So that's another theme. So it's not as trivial. We might ignore things in our daily lives in daytime hours because they are too mundane or too much to pay attention to. You have to stay in your lane, get through your day, but they've been replayed at night for a reason. So look at those elements. And in another key question that you always ask when I go to you with a dream is, what do you feel? And that is very important, again, because during the daytime, we don't afford ourselves certain feelings because, again, we have to stay in our lane and push through the day. And I'll think about that later. But in dream space, it's very important how you feel when you are seeing these images. Point of view, to me, that's another thing. As dream masters, were you a participant in this movie, or were you just there observing? I don't know about you, but I had many dreams. I would say half of them, I'm there like watching a movie and know what is going to happen next in this movie. And I'm sure that we'll have in our episode talking about dream masters, why these things happen. But point of view is important because point of view determines how you feel and react to the image, don't you think?
Absolutely. And like you said, that's a very important part of it too. Are you witnessing or are you in the midst of experiencing some of these events or situations as they're unfolding? Do you have a forewarning of like what is going to be coming, what's happening next, or I should go down this corridor or that corridor, like almost like annoying as you're moving through the dream. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The other thing is in physical elements. I remember a dream you had that you were talking about stairs.
Mhm.
In a dream that you were leading people and going stairs. And we were practicing back then when we were sharing our dreams. I was thinking, okay, stairs is interesting because there are other ways to go down or go up. So if this is going to be a subject for other episodes in terms of symbols, but for our audience, think about this. If in a dream you are with a group of people and you are choosing to take the stairs, there are two questions there that you have to think of. Is because you have no other choice, or because you are choosing that path as opposed to use a lift or an elevator? What is the meaning of taking that route?
I mean, I would think like the first, I think this came up and I think in our conversation is just like, if you see the stairs, there's steps to be taken. It's not like, a lot of times we can like elevate or just get to that other end. But if you're between 2 points and there's steps to be taken, that's a very literal dream. If you're open to that kind of thing, that, oh, I can't just go from here to there. I have to work on this or understand this message or meet this person. And there's various stages of the progression. So
that's right. Steps to be taken.
yeah.
And steps to be taken as a community, as a group. Everybody had to go through the steps because you were not alone. You were with a group of people. So that will come across as everybody has to go through the steps. Yeah. So nobody is special or different in this journey. So for an introduction, different things that I want to convey to our audience is always pay attention to your dreams. Like you mentioned, use the journal. Don't approach the experience with any judgment or analyze. Just let it, some dreams you have to kind of marinate on them and have them sit there, then taken apart, and do trust that there is guidance, because I think the most important thing in all that, dreams provide guidance. If we set the intention, because at least for me, I'm not the best at meditation. I mean, I'm challenged, terribly, horribly challenged when it comes to meditation. So I get my guidance through dreams. In the years, like I said, it's become a more refined tool. And with the help of people like you and all our friends, it can be a life-changing experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just noting the emotions is such an important thing too. So yeah.
Yeah. And another, thank you for bringing that up again, emotions, because again, during daytime hours, we are slightly different person, energetically, mentally, and emotionally, than we are when we are in the realm of dreams. Absolutely. Well, Dianne, thank you so much. Thank you for kicking off this podcast with me, and I hope I have you very soon with different themes. Like we told our audience, you're a modern day shaman, and there's something called shamanic dreams. I hope we can talk about that and bring also more education to people out there of what shamanism is and all the practices that are out there to help everybody.
Thank you for having me. It's always wonderful to catch up with you, chat a little bit about some realm of information that we cover, and look forward to future episodes. So thank you.
Thank you. And I'll see you all in the next episode of the Dreams Portal. Sweet dreams.